Hi, my name's Sean Shaler. That's my friend Chris Ford, and I can't allow him to speak. I got to keep him on mute till right before we're ready to start talking. And I forgot to adjust his volume. So, Chris, don't yell really loud just in case, okay?
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, that was pretty
Yeah.
good. That actually was all right.
Okay, good. All right.
Hey, Chris, how
Um,
you doing, buddy?
I am doing decent. Doing good.
Okay. I'll take decent. I mean,
Yeah. That's my regular setting and my default mode. So decent. I don't lie to people. It's decent.
yeah, well,
Life's
and
decent.
I feel like a lot of people would be happy with decent, right? So I was like, okay, I'll
Yeah.
take my decent and be both grateful and aware. There's like a weird balance in there where you can't be bragging about your decents because that's also rude.
Yeah. Craig at Payless.
Uh-huh.
One time I asked him just how he's doing. He's like,
Fisher, right?
no, actually I don't know who Craig Fisher is. That's Craig Campbell. Um,
Maybe I don't
he
know. Anyway.
Craig Campbell was a manager.
Oh, I know. Yeah, he was super
Yeah.
interested in space and math. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
Gosh,
absolutely.
actually, one time I was like, "Hey, Kirk, how you doing?" He's like, "You know what? Better than I deserve." I was like, "Huh, that's good."
No, Chris, that's unbelievable. A drunk person said that to me and my wife in Cabo when we were in Cabo the last time.
Well,
So if Craig said it and a drunk person said it, I
yeah.
mean, two for two.
Well, then I followed up with Craig about it, and he was like, and he got more religious about it and stuff. It was like, got some good in me. It's like, all right, I get you, Craig. I get the sentiment. But drunk guy, now, okay, I don't know what. I mean, hey, maybe I don't know.
If he's having a great time that feasibly is a pure luxury, then sure, it's a valid answer. I'll take it. Probably less philosophical than Craig's.
Yeah.
Comes from a different place.
Yeah. Uh,
We've been on a roller coaster. We've been talking about Scooby Doo guests. Chris has been rapping to the holes, the holes rap from the movie. It's been a ride. And also, at
yeah.
some point, my voice is going to stop working because I've been talking for like 2 straight hours, and so it's just going to stop. And Chris, you just snap your fingers when you want me to move the slides, okay?
All
Wait,
right,
no,
sounds
you can
good.
talk fine. I don't know why you got to snap your fingers. Never mind, you can just tell me out loud. I don't know why you can't talk all of a sudden.
Um, oh, something I should talk about. Um, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. I bought it, Sean. I was very excited, weirdly excited. And then it's weird though because I wasn't like always excited for it. It's like a week ago. I was like, oh yeah, this game comes out. I'm excited for it now.
The
And
closer it
I
got, we got more Avatar. Like we knew Aang and Korra, and then recently Toph was a recent. Like they
yes,
built it up for us.
yeah, which one of these days we still didn't do our video that we're planning on doing, like if we made our own Smash. Well, yeah, if we made our own Smash Bros. Avatar game, because that still needs to happen.
Now
Um,
it definitely
so
needs to.
yeah, I feel like I'm gonna do a quick little mini review
Give a tiny
of
one,
it.
and then we'll play it
Yeah,
together and do
exactly.
a
Yeah.
full.
So it's a copy of a Super Smash Bros. Franchise, which has been around since how old am I? 33.
1998 or seven. Give me
Okay.
8. I'll say 8.
Wow. Jeez. No, it can't be that long, Sean.
It was Nintendo 64, so it had to be between
No,
1995 and 2002, give or take.
I would say
Let
it
me
came
fact check.
out in. Wait, let me.
Guess
Let's see. I
first.
was
You
born.
guess
Wait, wait,
first.
wait. I was born in '88. I was probably 12 playing it. So I'm gonna go with 2000. Yeah, 2000. 2001.
1999.
Dang it. Okay, I went
So
the wrong
you
way.
know you 2000 was your first guess. I'll
Yeah.
accept that. That's
Okay.
fine. Everybody loses.
Anyway, so started off all the way from there. Went on to Brawl on the GameCube, and the game has pretty much been the same since Brawl. Honestly, I mean it gets better, but like it hasn't
Just
dramatically changed that
bigger
much.
more than anything.
Yeah, bigger, more. And Brawl came out in like what 2006, maybe. Um,
It was
no,
it was
2005, maybe in 2006.
no
It was when did the
the
GameCube come out?
Wii. No, Brawl is Wii.
No, Brawl is GameCube.
Melee is GameCube.
I'm sorry, you're right, Sean. My bad. Melee is
So
GameCube.
Melee was probably '04 is my guess. Do we want to do it?
Okay, I think so.
Let's
Yeah.
just do the whole series. You just start throwing out. No, you keep talking. I'll find the series.
All right. Melee. things haven't really changed, I think, that much since Melee. Just they just added on a couple new things. To me, it was kind of a huge leap between the original one and Melee, but since then, things haven't dramatically changed that much for Melee. I mean, they're a little better. Graphics are a little better here. The flow's a little better. Things like that. They've added special moves. Anyway, Nickelodeon All Star Brawl is the latest attempt by another company to do their own Brawl game. And then I love Super Smash Bros. The franchise. It's like probably my top three video games of all time.
I think you've talked before about liking it, but I don't know if you've ever really shared with people that like
No,
pretty good. I feel like it's
I'm
not
probably
snuck
not
out.
that. I'm probably not that good.
I'm
I
comfortable
think just
saying
compared.
we've played enough, and we've played with enough other people who are at least competent that I'm willing to say pretty good. I'm willing to give you that comfortably with
Oh,
potential. Pretty
okay.
good with potential.
Like I would never go to a tournament because like I'm not good at like people like to. I watch tournaments and people like to fight off the ramp, and I'm like, no, I'm too scared
No, I ain't
to
messing with
do
that.
that.
That's I'm
Why are
ground
you?
bound.
Yeah, like you're supposed to stay away from the side. I'm not trying to do all
Y'all are crazy. Why are you fighting to get
that. Yeah.
just
Do you guys know the rules of this game? It's supposed to be like go to the middle. Anyway,
quick
um,
reference just for clarification is 99 for the original, Melee in '01, which is a little earlier than I expected.
wow.
Uh so it was very
Wait,
early in GameCube.
they're 2 years apart?
It could have been like a long two, but yeah.
Yeah, it's still
Um,
crazy.
it was very early in GameCube. Brawl was '08, which was like a year and a half into the Wii. It wasn't super long into the Wii, maybe
Mm.
even a year.
And it
3DS and
skipped the
Wii
Wii U.
U was 2014, and then Switch in 18.
Wait, they made one for the Wii U?
The one on the Switch essentially is the one on the
Okay.
Wii U. It is.
Okay. I didn't think they made. Yeah. Okay.
Chris, you literally played it in my house with me and Roberto and like six other people.
Okay. I
Uh,
thought.
it really is the same game, and not even like a me making fun of them way, like Nintendo just saying, no, this is an
Yeah.
underappreciated game because nobody had a Wii U. We're gonna pluck it out,
Yeah.
put it over
Yeah.
here, and stuff more characters into it, and they did, and that's fine. It works. It's great. If you like Smash Brothers, and you have Smash Bros on the Switch, you could almost like not play any other games, and it
Yeah.
wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's massive.
But no, and so that's 20 something years of playing Smash Bros, right?
Hmm?
And so I'm a little picky when it comes to Smash Bros. So when Nickelodeon makes theirs, and I tried it out, and my initial like first couple times playing through, just a couple different fights, I left disappointed because I was like, this just doesn't feel like Smash Bros. Like in my head, like I didn't even read any reviews or anything. I was just like, all right, it's not that hard to mess with Smash Bros. Like it's a very simple concept. um, and I just figured there's just downloadable characters for them. And for the most part, it is, but there's just something missing from it. Um, and I think it's a really missed opportunity. Um, but I think you just gotta find the right character to play with. Maybe that's the issue. Because I played with Toph after my initial. So I played with Korra first. I did Korra versus Aang, of course, and I barely beat Aang, and it was like on medium level, and I barely beat because for some reason I think
Now the
I
facts
think
have been made. It's
yeah.
it's real now.
And I played with Aang, and for some reason they just didn't feel right. Playing with Toph was a lot of fun though. Toph will probably be my main play 'cause she was just a lot of fun to play with. But my biggest complaint is the up button configuration on it. In Smash Bros, you just press up on the control stick because it's a two-dimensional space. So pressing up will just take you up. It doesn't. That's all it needs to do. You don't need up to do anything else. You might as well use it to jump. And but in the Nick game, to jump is X on the Switch, and that's annoying. Like it just so much muscle memory, and we've talked about this, Sean, just tied into that it just doesn't feel right.
Think of something else that you've done for 21 years and that you're trying to
Yeah,
undo
it
that.
would be like, hey, you're driving a car, right? Instead of your right foot putting on the gas, what you're gonna do to do the gas is your left hand is going to press just a button that accelerates. That's how it would be.
I think I will have an easier time adapting, but only because I am worse at Smash Bros. Like there's less memory to break through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I probably will have an easier time. And then also when I play Smash Bros, I actually do kind of use the
Oh, you do.
is it
That's
X on
weird.
the
I think it's like the C
top
on the
one
GameCube.
on the GameCube? Well, and I didn't get GameCube as much in its time,
Yeah.
so I would be more
Oh, no, it's
Brawl
not a
for.
C. Never mind.
I don't even remember what two those buttons are on the GameCube controller. The two gray
I
top
think they
ones
can
or whatever.
jump. Yeah, I think
Uh,
I can.
but you can use one to jump, and I kind of do. Not consistently, which is probably why I'm not good. It's like I can't even tell you Sean, what button jumps? I don't know. All of them.
Um, Also, I just feel like it's a missed opportunity because there's no like Master Hand type esque villain. I would have liked a
Oh,
story mode just to see these characters interact with each other. Like even though story mode in
it could have
Smash
been like a
Bros.
giant slime monster or something. You know,
Oh
like
my
very
gosh,
just a
just that would
nameless
be it
slime
could have
blob.
been freaking Keenan Thomas Thompson just being the villain. You know, he's such a Nickelodeon legend. Could have
Just
been
yeah.
anything. It
Right?
could
What's the most iconic Nickelodeon thing? But I think it has to be innocuous to have the Master Hand vibe, which is why the slime comes to mind. But like,
yeah,
what's
yeah.
other like very
I
iconic Nickelodeon?
mean, there's a blimp, uh,
The,
Mark Summers or
the Mark's
Somerset,
it's Mark Summers,
right?
but it's
Mark
just
Summers.
he's actually like digitized, but like an actual digitized. If it's just actual Mark Summers fighting cartoon villains.
Yeah.
It's a
Um,
giant Viacom. I kind of like the blimp idea. That has some hand potential to it, you
yeah.
know. But
But
that seems like
I
a
just would
miss.
have liked. They could have just. It's such a missed opportunity, and I get that they probably don't have the money behind it. It's Nickelodeon, freaking. I don't know what they went through. Some weird company I've never even heard of
The mere
before.
fact that it's
Midpoint.
not THQ is a sigh of relief because I think THQ is dead now. I don't even know who has them. But
Uh,
when you hear Nickelodeon, my first thought is like, that's a shitty PS2 game made by THQ,
yeah.
hands down.
But it would have been so cool to have a story mode of just like all these characters coming together. That would have been cool. I think a better boss fight on arcade mode would have been cool. I really think what it would make it better is if you had some voice acting in it, because you
Oh
just
yeah,
when you're playing, characters don't say anything. They do when they get introduced. There's this little dialogue bots. Like Toph will be like, "I'm Toph, and I'm the greatest Earthbender ever." Like you see the dialogue bots, but it would have been so much cooler just to hear her say that, just hear Jesse Flower say it. So it would have been
just
really
call
great if
her
they
up,
brought in
be like,
some,
record this on your iPhone, send it
yeah.
over.
Or not even that, just take snippets from the show
Just
that you have access to.
that's fair. You
Why?
probably can comfortably take those shows that you have the rights to. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
I would have also liked to have some special moves. And like it they made a worse Smash Bros than the Smash Bros that was made more than 20 years ago. And I'm like, man, you could have done so much more.
That's
There's a,
probably a little harsh, but what about worse Smash Bros than a? Oh, wait, did we say 2001?
yeah.
Holy crap! It's 2021. Okay, I take it back. Go ahead.
That's what I'm saying.
We were
Um,
talking about 2009 Scooby Doo earlier. 19, sorry, 2019 Scooby Doo earlier, and that's my now in my head. It's 2019 again.
yeah. But I'm gonna give it some more time. I think it could be fun. Toph playing with Toph was a lot of fun. So I think you'll find maybe some fun characters to play with along the way. And of course it could be a lot funner just playing with other people because that was just the joys of Smash Bros. Growing up, right? Like I remember when that first one came out. I was just at my friend's house, just going crazy. Like it was just the best of times.
I think the original was probably one of the reasons that I kind of retained any interest in video games because we didn't really have anything. But then one of my friends like rented an N64, which first of all blew my
Oh
mind.
my
It's like you
gosh,
can
that
rent an N64, and he rented Smash Bros. And it was probably like 2000, maybe even 2001. Like it might have been close to GameCube time, but we're playing the N64 version. I was like, all four of us To you at that time, you got like a 2 liter Dr Pepper sitting in your own lap, and it's your 2 liter, and you're playing Smash
Got the
Bros. Like
3D Doritos.
3D Doritos. This is the height of luxury, and that is that time of your life. So yeah, definitely a big role. As bad as I am at it, 100% nostalgia for it. It's on the shelf, right? It's probably like right over here ish, give or take, in that
Yeah.
ballpark. But
I was,
Chris, would you be surprised if I told you that most reviews were like like middling to good so far?
no, I would no, I'm not surprised at that
Like
because
not scathingly bad, not great.
yeah, I'm just disappointed more than anything. Like to me, it's such a missed opportunity that I hope, and I think it'll be fairly successful. I mean, I think it's gotten a little bit of hype, especially with Avatar being on it so much. People, I think that's kind of been the
Avatar got
driving
to
force.
rescue everything, got to restore
Yeah.
balance to the video game universe.
So hopefully this leads to, I would never wish that this performs terribly because I think you can only do better from here, learn from your mistakes, and go from there. So the next one that comes out in, I don't know, whatever the next consoles come out will probably be better.
Even
But that probably
when
won't be for like another 5 years or so.
even when stuff is bad, I don't wish that it fails miserably. I just want it to be forgotten and for no one to pay any attention to it. That's my
Yeah.
strategy. But I will get it, or honestly, more likely, I'll wait for it to like be slightly on sale during or after Christmas, and I'll go to Chris's house at some point in between now and then, and we'll play it and review it. And
Yeah.
I'm
I
sure
got it for $40 off the Switch online store.
the dirty digital version,
Yeah.
yeah, monster. Chris,
Trying to take down brick and mortar.
if you buy digital versions, how can you have a room full of crap that you don't need? What do you
I got that.
what do you do with all your space?
Don't worry, I got that covered in
Oh
other
crap, yeah.
areas.
We do have an accumulation of crap. Chris, what else you been up to this week? We've already been talking like 20 minutes.
Oh crap! I
This
mean,
is important.
it was pertinent to Avatar at least.
It was perfect.
Um,
It is. It's a perfect tie-in of all of our interests.
Other than that, that's enough for now, I guess.
Perfect.
But
I'm going to try not to talk a whole lot because I can already feel my voice cracking. So, Chris, I'm gonna let
oh crap!
you just knock this episode out, and I'll nod my head in agreement.
All right, the episode we're reviewing today is the original Airbenders, and it's a pretty once it's like just an A plot. There is no real B plot in there. It's just Tenzin has the air nomads in training, and he's training them, and he's doing a fairly terrible job to a certain extent. I think it's so. Let me preface this by saying that I am so like my feelings about this episode went up and down throughout the episode, like so much. It's weird. Like I went in knowing like, all right, I gotta watch the episode. For some reason, I went in begrudgingly, just like, this isn't like one of my favorite episodes. so, so we'll get it deeper into that. Anyway, Tizen's training the new Airbenders, and he's having some trouble. They don't really respond to him. He's kind of boring. He's over here teaching stories about the guru who fasted for like so many days, which is probably actually really interesting. but but they don't find it that interesting, which I get it. And Boomy is like one of Tenzin's worst students, and and Tenzin's having trouble. So Tenzin calls Korra, and Korra like gives him some pretty good advice, just like, hey, just have Boomy help you out and stuff. And one thing I love that after she gives him some advice, Tenzin's like, you know what, you're turning out to be a pretty wise avatar. And then she says like, what she say? She says,
Uh,
conflict resolution or
yeah, that's what it is.
something like that. Like it's what I do. And that's something that Aang, I'm pretty sure Aang said that in the Great Divide episode.
What
As a
what a calling card between episodes Sean doesn't like.
yeah. Um and Tenzin takes that advice in the wrong way. He asks Boomy for advice, and Boomy says like, "You got to whip him in a shape like boot camp." And Tenzin goes like way overboard and he pretty much treats them all like boot camp. Like he's yelling at them, he's hard on them, and then they're like, "Phew, this is just as bad as with the Earth Queen," which I wouldn't agree with that because I mean you guys were
Harsh.
like locked up, like
One
enslaved
of those people
type of
had
stuff.
good intentions, and
But
one maybe not so much.
yeah, and and one of my favorite parts in this is that Boomy Boomy's like he's on the obstacle course and then he falls and he's like, I'm over this, Tenzin. Like I didn't want to be an airbender and I'm too old to be doing boot camp again. Like I'm out of here. Which is he's lying. Like it's one of those lies you tell yourself because you're unsure of yourself because you have some insecurities. Like that that statement he said he never wanted to be an airbender, I'm 100% positive that's a lie he's telling himself right now because that's probably all he wanted to do was like, oh, be like dad. Like,
And Dad's favorite son, absolutely.
yeah, like, and we all know that this completely informs character Tenzin of Boomy that he grew up as the non-bender of the group. Like between the Avatar and he's also the last Airbender, and Katara, who's one of the greatest waterbenders in the world, and you're Boomy, who has no bending skill at all. Like, of course, you want to be an an Airbender, and so I really like that aspect of it because I think it really dives into the character of Boomy.
It's
Um,
it's way deeper than anything I thought about. I was just like, come on, Boomy, and then I moved on. But no, you're totally right, and I love it, and that's why we love Boomy, and it always leads you to ask us questions of like, all right, is that why Boomy is the way that Boomy is?
yeah.
Maybe, probably.
Then and then and then sorry, I'm laughing because I'm just about to come up. Then Tenzin's like, "Oh, I'm tired of this." Janora leads them through practices, and then she's like, "Oh, does that mean I'm a teacher?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then she's like, "Oh, does that mean I'm a master?" "Yeah, sure, whatever. Just lead them." And she's like, "Oh, okay, so I'm a master. So can I get my tattoos?" It's like, "What? What? Why would you even think about this?" Well, I was talking to Kai. Kai, and then they show like Kai just like just trying to hide his face. Like, what would Kai know about tattoos? You're just a little girl. Um, so and then she tells him off, which I like this stuff. She's like, I know all of our techniques. I know everything about our culture. I'm more in tune with spirits than you are. Like, yeah, tell him, Janora. Like, you you should be an airbending master. It's funny because like if you think about the most skilled airbenders, Janora is probably a top three, and not in terms of like strength and power, because I would give that
It's
to
not combat catered, but that doesn't mean like pure skill. Like we got to separate
yeah,
those.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm sure she's still great at combat, but that's not where she shines at. Like I probably in combat wise, I wouldn't put her above Tenzin or Zahir or Aang. Um, but just talking about just skill and just being just living up to that air culture um, life and things like that. I will put Janora probably in the top three.
She's a top 3 air acolyte.
Yeah. Well, Air Acolyte will be our members of the Air Nation who aren't
Oh,
air
okay, okay.
benders. Just in case anyone wants to correct you there. It's
Save
funny because they
those
had that.
save those YouTube comments. I got Chris
Yeah.
right here.
I watched a video recently. It was this random like gaming sketch thing on Facebook, and they do this competition where they do a trivia. This person does trivia against a person who has a computer with them to look up the stuff. This girl did Avatar trivia. She did fairly good. All right. Like questions were like, name the four real life martial arts styles that the show based off on.
You'll
She named
hate
them
me
pretty.
and you'll probably make me leave, but there's no way I would be able to answer that. I would not. I would.
Uh,
I'd have to be like, I have a podcast. Let me reference episode 2
yeah.
and see what Chris says.
Well, it's Bagua for airbending, Northern Shaolin for firebending, Tai Chi for waterbending, and Hungar, uh, Tiger Crane for earthbending. And then I would follow it up with that. Well, also you can include praying mantis style because that's the style that Toph uses. That's specific for her. So it's like questions like that. And then one of the questions was, which I call complete BS on, it was like, what fusion type of bending can only be done, have only been shown in the show? And then she was like, and the thing is, I knew the answer that they were wanting, but also I know like this is a dumb question. Fusion bending isn't a thing. Like, so the answer is lava bending, and I knew that was the answer they're looking for, but that's not. And then they go on to explain that you're like, yes, lava bending is a fusion bending of two elements, and only people who have parents of both things can do that. And I was like, whoa, wait, that's not
That ain't
true. Like
right.
that's that's not how bending works. Lava is just really hot earth heated
Are they
to a
just
liquid
saying that
form.
because of the like? What's their? Is it
They
just
showed a
because of
picture of
Bolin and
Bolin.
Mako? Is that it?
They showed a picture of Bolin. The thing is, it's a at best it's a fan theory, but there's way more support
I don't
that
feel
you
like it's
don't have to.
fusion at all. I feel like
No, it's definitely not fusion.
it's
No.
just earth bending.
Yeah, I've never even heard the term fusion
That's
bending before I
weird.
watched
Yeah.
that video.
Uh,
It almost made me mad. Like, no, don't try to have a competition.
Chris, hit those 3 dots, and when Facebook asks you like, "Why am I seeing this ad?" Don't you like Avatar? Yeah, that's why I hate it. No respect.
But yeah, like that.
I'm
That's not the
sorry you
case.
had to go through
Every
that.
yeah. Like I wish like people just give me a chance. I can I would have been like, I know the answer you're looking for, but you're not asking the right question.
You know,
You're asking
in
a wrong question.
Mighty Ducks 2, when Portman is he gets kicked out of the game within like 10 seconds or whatever, and stays back in the room like breaking shit,
Yeah,
and then Julie the cat goes back there and just
yeah.
like, hey, that's like me if I walk in on you. You're taking one of these quizzes. You're just wrecking bookshelves full of pops and stuff. Hey,
Yeah.
sorry, I just watching this quiz on Facebook. I got a little hyped.
I think the comment section was like full of people being like, every question was right except for that one. And then even I commented on it. I was like, this the thing is, I think this
Stop.
anyway.
Stop.
Um, what else happens in this? Okay, Janora then runs off with Kai to go like look at some bison, and then they get caught by bison rustlers, which one of them has like freaking uh bison fur. It must be a baby bison, and like bison are like a very, very much endangered species. Like, jeez. And then he goes on to say like, "Oh yeah, these bisons are gonna fetch a hefty price. Like people like the Earth Queen, she loves the stuff. I heard she ate her dad's bear. like, like, holy crap, what the heck, Earth Queen?
That doesn't
Like,
even
come on.
sound good. That's not a delicacy. That's gross.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
He was
Bears
probably
don't.
tough. He was probably very tough.
They would seem like they would be tough. I don't know.
Yeah, especially the older they get. I don't know. I'm not a bear meat expert.
No, I'm not. I've been hunting squirrels lately.
It's-
Not really hunting them, just trying to get them away from my deck because my tree grows this weird fruit. It's I think it's called a it's like a green fruit, but it's a ball.
Hedge apple?
They grow
They're
no.
kind of lumpy. They look like green circular brains,
Yeah,
and they're
okay.
hard. That's called a hedge apple.
Yes, okay.
And if you hit them with a baseball bat, they kind of explode, and there's some
Oh, well,
liquidy-ish substance. It's kind of fun
yeah.
a time or two. Don't
Hmm.
use a bat that you like.
But the squirrels like to even put it on my deck, and they'll eat it like on my deck. But usually I don't mind because I'm like whatever. But they leave their residue around, and
Yeah.
then the flies, because it's fresh, fairly good fruit. The flies come in, the flies eat it, and there flies around. So I'm just scaring the squirrels away with a slingshot.
We
uh,
and then you're eating them.
yeah,
We have
and then
chipmunks, and they might be pests. I don't know for sure. I don't care. I love them. I want more of them. They're like this big, and they just got the little black stripe, and they just run all over, and they look exactly like Chip and Dale are animated. It's
it's funny.
it's perfect. It's some perfect animation. That's exactly how they run. They're hyper. They're
Yeah,
great.
you want Chip and Dale? Huh? I would want Alvin and the Chipmunks,
No,
but
I'm
they're
gonna
more
stick.
real.
No, I'm gonna stick with
Yeah,
Chip and Dale. I think.
I think you're good there because Chip and Dale they look like chipmunks. I feel like Alvin
Yeah.
and Chipmunks don't. They look like humanoid chipmunks.
Yeah, no, like Chip and Dale when they run and stuff, and it's
Yeah,
animated when they scurry. It's perfect. And now I've got a
okay.
new appreciation for chipmunks. Good NES game, also Chip and Dale.
The thing is, and I would hit the squirrels with those green balls, and like I've hit two of them, and then I don't know, just I think they're starting to get the hint a little bit.
Just
Like, hey, don't come around these parts.
tell your friends about me.
The thing is, like, they have a nest at my neighbor's yard, and then like there's a phone line that connects to like this other nest I have in my other neighbor's yard, and they go across the phone line all the time. But yeah, not important.
I
Uh,
I enjoyed it for whatever that's worth.
so Janora and Kai gets kidnapped. Kai breaks out because he's really good at picking locks, even with like toothpicks. Like this guy's good. Uh,
McKyver. Heyo. I've been holding that
oh,
one in for a while.
nice. And poor Janora. Janora's like, save them first. Like, I don't prescribe to that thought because if he gets you out, then you can help get them out also.
Twice as fast.
Yeah, twice. It's like,
Absolutely.
like I get you gotta get intentions here, but just think it through.
Yeah, but the
Like,
bison are not gonna pick other. What do you
yeah,
want them to do?
they'll just be sitting there looking at you.
Just waiting, like
Wow. All right, Kai, just keep going. Um, yeah, but like that. I always think about if you're in a plane, right, and they tell you like if there's turbulence and the air mass come down, like put it over yourself first, then help someone else out because you might pass out.
and they're like, yeah,
Like,
well, what about my babies? Well, can you help the baby when you're dead
yeah,
or pass out? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I kind of have that reaction internally every time, like, why? And then I gotta, oh wait, I get it. Oh, I get
yeah.
it. That's already three John Mulaney drops this episode for keeping a
Is it?
tally.
Wow.
I know.
Him and Olivia Munn are expecting a child.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was really so.
I
Another sidebar. So like 2 years ago or a year ago, so John Mulaney was having like
drug issues,
drug issues and stuff
divorce.
like that. Yeah, and Olivia Munn said tweeted out like really praying for John or hope John's doing well, and she said some type of words of encouragement, and then people have now looked back on it like, man, she was shooting her shot over a year ago. Like, good for her. Like, can we get
She's
some of that energy? So everyone started tweeting out that same tweet she did, but just replace John Mulaney's name
with
with
whoever.
like, yeah, with whoever or whatever they want.
In the merchandising world, Chris, we call that buying low. This is
I
probably a
mean,
horrible thing to say about somebody's life, but I love you, John Mulaney. Best intentions.
yeah, so there's been some baby sometime. He seems to be doing better.
Good.
It's weird. He was on Seth Meyers, and there was times he was on Seth Meyers, and he was seeming a little weird.
Hmm.
Like he would be on there, and he would just be like talking, but really wouldn't be saying much. And this last episode that he went on, they were talking about his intervention. I mean, it's not like, but John Mulaney, of course, is like going to make someone like he was like, and I went to the intervention, and and I completely was like, hey, you remember these 2 days? I wasn't drunk those days. See?
You don't
And
know
then
me.
yeah. And then like you know who Fred Armistad is or Amistad is
Not off the top of
from
my
him.
head.
He's on SNL too. He always plays like a I can't think of he's on this show called Portlandia. Um, he was on SNL.
I'm just
He
gonna
was
Google it because
on
it'll bug me and I won't know.
he was on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He played that guy that was at their wedding playing like the violin. And then he was also like on the first episode. He took the picture from him, the suspect picture.
Fred Armisen.
Yeah, Armisen.
Okay, yeah, I
Anyway,
recognize him
so
from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I think is
yeah,
my
okay. So
easiest.
they're all him and Seth Meyers are like good friends with John Mulaney, like really, really good friends. Like they were at the intervention, and every time Fred Armstrong is doing a bit, he's like, he's always like, I'm not doing a bit, I'm being serious. Like, but he's not being serious. And then John Mulaney was like, and Fred is like, he keeps saying to me like, I'm not doing a bit, John. I'm serious, and I just can't take him serious.
You cry wolf your whole life, man. It's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
but that
when
was a
when John Mulaney comes through Kansas City at some point, I like Chris. There's already like four of us signed up. We're waiting. We checked the website.
oh
Regular,
really?
more regular. So when it happens, I'm just saying, there's room for
Oh well,
one
yeah,
more
I'll
in the
definitely.
car. I don't know when. If I have no idea if he's like fired his tour back up or anything, but there's
Yeah.
like a small but oddly dedicated fan base that I happen to know. I'm glad you swatted at that because I thought he was in my house for a second. I was like, he just disappeared. It's because he's no longer on the screen.
The audacity of this fly,
I
white
know.
flies just come in and
Straight up
sit
rude.
on, sit on my stuff. You know what? I'm gonna flick this fly. Let's see if I can flick it.
Getting up close and personal.
Stay right there. Got your dumb ass. And I'm kidding. I turn into a different person when I kill flies. I think I got it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Anytime I like kill a fly, I'm like, that's what you get. You come in my house?
Talking shit. My favorite thing to do is if I happen to have a towel that like it'll be like a
How
kitchen
did that
towel.
fly even let me flick it? I got him within.
I know you're just right there. If uh if you happen to have like a kitchen towel and I'll see a fly, I'll be like, you know what, that kitchen towel needs washed anyway. And then I love trying to snap them. I love
Oh,
trying
what?
to.
Yeah. What I do is, actually, that's my third fly I killed today. I wet the tip of the kitchen towel. That way, I got weight on it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I love snapping them. And then it feels like there's like less collateral damage that I'm causing too. Like if you swipe and you hit like vases and stuff, but if you got like a
Oh
real
yeah.
good direct snap,
Yeah.
minimal collateral damage,
Mm.
no broken windows ever.
Yeah. Do you know where he gets kidnapped? And oh,
Kai
so
rescues the other bison.
she sends a message via spirits to Boomy. Boomy gives a pretty good like kind of speech, but it's also kind of funny because he's like, "Remember when we toughed it out in the obstacle course and we finished it?" And they're like, "But you never finished it." And he's
Right,
like,
the nerdy
"That
guy's just
doesn't
like,
matter."
you left.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not
Yeah.
leaving now. It's
Anyway, they
it's
all
fine.
and then they all go to rescue them, and the one guy who got his head shaved by Tenzin without his permission to a certain extent, like he felt the net, so he has like stuff with precog, and he's able to sense it and break the net. That was funny.
He like
Uh,
matrixes out of the way because of his bald head.
yeah,
And
exactly.
later he tells him about it too. He's like, I could really feel it coming.
Yeah, and then Kai takes down the main kind of wrestler guy, and then like he beats the crap out of him. Like, guy, this is probably my favorite Kai episode.
Oh.
I mean,
Okay. I
to
mean,
me,
no,
it's
go.
just,
I don't. I'm
uh,
interrupting. You go ahead.
I mean, he's just like mad. He's like, you think you can kidnap these? he's Bison, and he beats the crap out of him. And Tenzin's like, "Kai, no, Airbenders don't beat up on a defenseless person, but good form." So that's a good little Kai moment there, and Tenzin coming to to agreement with each other. And then and there's a good little moment with Tenzin and Janora. You know, Tenzin admits like Janora is like able to be a master, but he has this thing on the tattoo things, which at this time I didn't really think about it all that much. Oh yeah, one day she'll get her tattoos. I didn't, didn't know it'd be like the end of this season. Foreshadow report. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that foreshadow report.
Foreshadow. Don't
Duh.
steal their thunder, Chris.
Yeah, I'm not gonna steal. I don't. That's one aspect I don't like about that podcast. That's a great
It's,
podcast. I love the podcast. I
it is a
listen.
really good
Yeah.
podcast. I will maintain until I die that I would probably listen to Janet Varney talk about anything. She just has a voice. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I want to keep listening to whatever she has to say.
Yeah. You should listen to her other podcast, the JV Club. It's mostly she's mostly interviews women, except for in the summertime. She calls it the boys of summer, and that's the time that she interviews
That's adorable.
men.
And
Uh,
I would
but
probably
yeah,
enjoy
she's
it.
she's
It's
she's
very
interviewed
soothing.
her. Oh, you should listen to her interview with Gray Delisle. Gray Delisle is freaking like just so fun to listen to, and she does
Does
like
she do voices when she's being
she does a
interviewed?
few voices. She does a voice of her grandmother who's like Italian or something. That's a great voice. Jen also has an episode with Mike and Bryan. She has an episode with Dante Bosco. She has she has hundreds and hundreds of podcasts. She's been doing that specific podcast, the JV Club, for maybe like 4 years now or something like that.
The past
Been a while.
2 weeks of podcasts too have been it's been the waterbending scroll and the voice coach have been the past two, and they've
Yeah,
both been
Andrea
they've
Romano.
they've been my two favorites that they've done episode wise. They've
Yeah,
been
I love Andrea Romano. Like I was just have always loved her since really just realizing
how
just the
much
talent
stuff she had her
behind.
hands in.
Yeah, like I was watching, if you know the show The Boondocks, that was like the first DVD I ever bought. And so I was watching the special features on it and
Oh, really?
everything. And Andrea Romano was on there, and she was talking about how she brought in Regina King to do the voices of Riley and Huey. And I was like, oh, this okay. And then I was watching something with Batman or Justice League. Oh, I was watching one of the Justice League, um, one of the animated movies, the special features on there. She was on there too. I was like, holy crap, she's on that in this. And then I Google her and like, oh, she's a legend. Like, and I've been kind of a fan of hers since. Like, that's big nerd to be like, oh, I would really love to meet the voice acting director of this animated show.
That would
But
be pretty incredible, and anyone who's listening to this podcast would be impressed by the amount of stuff that she has her hands in.
yeah, no, she is. She's retired now, but she is like a legit legend. I was hoping they would like talk about like the difference. I was hoping they would ask her the difference between directing Dante and Janet, like how
Sounds
it,
like a
it may be
trap
different. Yeah,
question.
yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, I just thought it'd be funny. But,
I thought it'd be funny, but at somebody else's expense, so that's fine.
yeah, but anyway, that's kind of the episode.
They get
Yeah,
rescued. Tenzin shows up and he's proud, and what has it? Does it just end with a nice conversation between Tenzin and Jinora? Is that the end?
that is the end. Oh, and then oh, I know it ends. The bison, the little baby bison, start to fly. It's,
Oh yeah, that's
yeah,
really cute. They're cute
yeah.
baby bison.
And then he just says like, seems like everyone's growing up, and that's how the episode ends. Yeah.
Let's do some ratings.
All right, ratings. So yeah, up and down with this episode. It's interesting. For audiovisual, gave it an 8. Why did I? Oh, I really liked the fight. That's what it was. Just seeing the airbenders come together and fight. You kind of clearly see the distinction between the air nomads, like Tenzin's kids, and how like they're so much better at it. But and so they're kind of like air scooting them to certain areas and having them.
Milo is a martial artist.
Yeah. Oh, we forgot to mention Milo's statement of like when he takes over after Janora leaves, and he's like, "Look to your left, look to your right. One of these people will not live to see tomorrow," or something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty adorable slash
Yeah.
dangerous.
And then like you can just see the joy on his face when he's like shooting those melons at them.
He's not Aang, that's for sure.
No, he's not Aang. Oh, that was one thing I wanted to mention with the Kai. Like Aang would have been more pissed off than Kai. If like Aang once killed a buzzard wasp, a defenseless buzzard wasp, an innocent. Not, it wasn't innocent. Um, I mean, that's just nature,
Are any buzzard wasps innocent? Chris, I
Like,
heard a fun fact the other day where there's certain, I don't know if it's wasps, but there's certain like things that sting you. I don't remember which ones, but they sting you. They secrete something, some kind of hormone or whatever it is, but that attracts other wasps or other things, whatever that thing is. So
oh
it's
my
like
gosh,
they spend their dying minutes making sure that they can just
tagging me.
sit, not only attacking you, and then making sure that all of his friends can find you, usually for no reason.
Oh my, yeah,
That's like that's a crazy. That's more than a suicide mission. That's wild. So you know what? Are any buzzard wasps really innocent?
probably not.
Probably, but I don't
Uh,
know.
but Aang would have been way more pissed off than Guy. Like Aang would have went to the Avatar state. Like when, like, like these people kidnapped all these
Children.
bison and children. And like when Aang just heard somebody muzzled Appa, you muzzled Appa. Like Aang would have made Kai look like just so tame in comparison. But I want to see ever share those with Tenzin, or he's just trying to project. If I had to guess, Aang probably projects himself as being more perfect than he actually was to Tenzin. Because I feel like Tenzin tends to idolize him to a extent where he didn't really see the faults in Aang, even as a parental figure.
I'm gonna say
Um,
like lies of omission, right? He probably
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
put it like
Because
an
you
extra
don't,
pedestal. He just didn't share those parts.
and not in like some nefarious way, but more in the like, I just need to tell him that like I don't want to influence him in a bad way, so I'll just tell him the good things.
Yeah,
Like I don't want to tell him about my shortcomings because he might
I just
think that
want him
that's
to see
okay.
the good things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
But but if he told Tenzin like, oh yeah, one time
One time I
I
killed a
killed the
buzzard
buzzard
wasp for
wasps.
fun,
Yeah, one
and
time
I
Alstar State took me over, and I'm pretty sure I killed a whole fleet of ships with people on it. But that's not my fault.
one
That
time
was
Toph saved all of our lives from being buried alive, and then I ripped her ass
yeah.
because she's blind. I ripped her ass because she's blind. Also, he doesn't
Yeah.
tell those stories.
No, I don't want to tell those stories. Uh, but yeah. Oh, story 7.5. So I almost gave this a. My initial thought when I was first started watching the episode was like, maybe 6.5, or 7. But then just remember all the good Boomy stuff and how much stuff really informed that character, and then the stuff with Janora and Tenzin. I think some really good, sweet father-daughter stuff. Um, But man, I really do hate like to me it just seemed out of character that Tenzin went that far. So I don't think that aspect is good writing. Like sure he might be like sure he's desperate and stuff, he's doing whatever he can, but that just seemed too out of character.
Too far.
Yeah.
That's
And
too
I talked
strong. That's too
yeah.
strong.
And I talked today, or tweeted out today about like just because a character does something that you don't agree with or don't like doesn't mean it's bad writing. Sometimes it can be good writing, actually, but I don't think this is one of those cases.
Yeah, we were just talking about Nate from Ted Lasso. I think is when that came
Yeah,
up. Like
yeah.
the characters that you're supposed to hate or supposed to get mad at or whatever. It's a fine line. I'll say that much.
It is a fine line. It
Yeah.
really is. Memorable, a 7.5. Um, what? There was a couple of different things, but let's just start. Anyway, that puts it out to what, a 7.7? Yeah, 7.7 out of 10.
Audio visual similar, like the fight and everything. I don't know, nothing really stood out except for the fight, though. That's it.
Yeah.
Story. This is my least favorite kind of episode because you have to see
I
so
get
much
it.
bad from so many characters. Like you get the worst kind of Tenzin for a little bit, you get the worst kind of
Hmm.
Boomy, the worst kind of Janora. Kai is a little shit for a good chunk of it. Like it just there's too much bad for too many characters, and then some of it is maybe a smidge overdone. It's just not my favorite kind of episode. Also, it's not super consequential. You might get a little character informant, but I don't know. It's not super consequential.
Yeah, the only thing here that would be consequential is the discussion about airbending tattoos.
Yep, and that
Um,
the bonding and then the literal discussion. But
yeah,
like even Boomy, we could have still probably enjoyed Boomy just as much at the end of the series without this episode. Like we already, maybe not quite as much, but close. And then memorable. I told you today or yesterday, like when I watched this episode as the next episode, I literally forgot it existed, and I kind of forgot what happened. And it sort of started coming back to me, even though I've watched these at this point. I've watched these like a month ago, also, and then rewatched them today. It's like I still
yeah.
forgot it, and it's just from a place of consequence. But for what it's worth, hey, remember 6.5? That's not all that bad. I don't know. It's not my kind of episode. 6.8.
Yeah, I get it.
7.2. It's gonna finish a little low when we go through and go to the end. It'll be pretty low on there, but it's not bad. Just not my style. You can almost skip it. I don't know that you should. I wouldn't recommend skipping it, but you could almost skip it.
I wouldn't skip it. I thought I would skip it at first, but my rewatch today, I think confirmed that I would not
Got a little more
skip
out
it.
of it. Well, that's good. That's good.
I think I did, yeah.
At least it has a very satisfying ending. Maybe that deserves some extra credit. Like there's a lot of little things that get patched up in a very gratifying way.
Yeah, yeah, I meant to say that. I think the first half really suffers.
It's tough to watch, yeah, but whatever. You only got to watch it once on your way through, so that's good. And next episode gets big. Things are ramping up real fast. Chris, when I watched this episode and the next episode, and then I just finished the season because it just kept going, and
Yeah.
I, I started it on my lunch hour, and 3 hours later, no, 2 hours later, it was finally wrapping up behind me. I swear I went back to work and was working. But anyway, it gets real crazy and real good from here on out. So looking forward to it. Chris, looking forward to chatting you about that next episode next time, in which I will still be wearing this collared shirt because we're going to record back to back. Thank you, everybody, for listening to Avatar The Last Podcasters. We appreciate it. We'll put all the contactees stuff down in the description. My name is Sean. That's my friend Chris Ford, a.k.a. The Objective Geek, who someday will make more YouTube videos. Again, it will happen. Keep your fingers crossed. We came up with a good one last week. It was if something had happened in Republic City instead of Bossing Say. It was like a what
Yeah.
if. He's got ideas. He doesn't need my help.
I
Anyway,
got plenty of ideas.
but just no time because children and life and stuff. But anyway, Chris, thanks a ton. Thank you all for listening, and we will see you next time.